Libertarians, when they did ranch rescue, you guys remember that? They would go and they bought a ranch on the border. Libertarians on the show, I'm going, abso-freaking-lutely. The purpose of government is to defend life, liberty, property. I have a ranch. That guy has a ranch. That's why they bought that ranch. They were from Texas and California. There's all this. They were going to whoop this up, God knows from whoever, whatever they did. It was an intent to make this an issue. This was to be a political issue. They admitted, Simcox, this is to be, do this to make it a political, he was here at the Breakfast Club, to make it a political issue. For what? We were saying, as a private property owner, okay, the purpose of government is to defend, or sure as heck allow him to defend his property. I can put up the freaking biggest fence or whatever I want. What did the federal government do? No. You're not allowed to defend. Now, if it came from the U.S. side, and you got somebody aggressing and coming at you, and you shoot them dead, that's okay. Anybody comes from the Mexican side, you're not allowed to. And I'm going, how messed up is this? You have the Castle Doctrine.
So you're arguing in favor of a border that you can defend?
If you have a justification, the only justification, although you'll never get me arguing for government. That ain't going to happen, Alan. But you'll have, if you're going to have a government and this promise that they have, what is the promise? The promise is that they are going to defend your property line, or at the very least allow you to defend it yourself. They didn't. Why?
Because they want the problem.
They wanted the problem. They needed the issue. Why? For national ID.
Yeah.
They
Bigger than that, Ernie. It's much bigger than that. Much bigger than that.
It is to allow.
Now, whatever. I mean, it wasn't for what they promised. All right, Chris, go before you blow up.
That you're talking about.
All right, I keep hearing the term "we." I'm just curious. Whenever you guys say "we," what do you mean by "we"? Do you mean all of us in this country together, or do you mean me? Because if you mean what am I? How do I have a right to protect my property? Absolutely, you have a right to protect your property, but you don't have a right to tell me who I can have on my property. Do you?
I agree.
Okay then. Well,
We refers to the society as a whole in that context.
well, it doesn't include me because I don't support anything that you're talking about at all.
We in this room refers to the people in the room. I mean, this business with fooling with definitions to the point of absurdity.
No, to the point of I get to be me by myself.
No.
Compelling interest has a real clear definition. Reasonable suspicion has a real clear definition. If you watch the video, if you watch the video that the police are using for training for 1070, there are 11 factors for reasonable suspicion, and if you saw them and heard them, you'd go, that's reasonable.
You know,
Reasonable suspicion means you stop a guy for a broken taillight, assuming he's not corrupt and it's being done as a matter of rule of law. His vehicle isn't safe to operate on the road. We pass these laws. Let's move past that. You stop him for legitimate reason. You ask him for his driver's license because, although you don't need ID as a citizen, you do need ID in activities that require an ID, which includes driving. So the guy doesn't have a license. That's 1 out of 11. Wait a minute. That's 1 out of 11. He doesn't or refuses to communicate with you in English. That's 2 out of 11. You ask him where he lives. He says he doesn't know. That's 3. You ask him how long has he been in the country. That's 4. He refuses to make eye contact and looks like he's trying to leave. That's 5.
What if he
Wait a minute.
refuses to talk to a
you
cop?
confuse me with someone that
What
cares.
if he refuses to talk to a cop?
Don't we have
That's
the
11, shoot the bastard. You're taking it under the belief that there's a friggin' cop in this country that has a soul. Just like you're talking about friggin', I have the right to defend my friggin' property. What the fuck are you talking about? You don't have the right to defend your property. If you do while a man's killing you and he doesn't survive it, they take everything you fucking loan and torture you for months. So don't say we, and don't tell me that a cop has 11 fucking elements. A cop has a gun, a badge, and no fucking soul.
We don't need the language. We're not in jail. We don't need the language.
If I'm not breaking the law, they have no right to ask me
any of those questions under reasonable suspicion. It's not just if you're pulled over. You could be standing on the street videotaping, and they could have reasonable suspicion to come and ask you all those questions, which you don't have to answer at all.
Well, you know,
I
we're
live
gonna
in
find out,
reality.
Alan.
We
We're
live
gonna
in
find
reality,
out.
Alan. You're off in some fantasy land that these cops are somehow godly or something, and they do
Not when they
stuff
get
according to the
indemnified.
rules.
It's gonna get bad really fast, so it's not gonna take long.
All right, now,
It took,
wait.
okay, just a second, okay? It took an hour from the time that Jan signed it till they did it the first time, whatever Alan said wouldn't happen. Go ahead, Jack. They did that guy for the hat.
I want to say this specifically to both of you, Alan and your partner. All right. Have you ever, no wait, listen, have you ever driven by Papago Park and looked at the military installation there? You see all the ATVs, all the Jeeps, all the 4-tracks, they just sit there. If this government and Jan Brewer cared about sealing the border and our state's sovereignty, those vehicles with drivers would be down there on the border. But they sit because they want this issue, because they want a fascist police state so that they can steal every last frickin' dime of every free American.
If they send those troops down there, then Arizona has to pay for them.
That's
We are
fine.
defending the U.S. border, not the U.S.
You would rather, wouldn't you rather pay for that than have this in
You
your
know what's
face?
interesting is that you have enough people that would do it for free.
Yeah.
They want to do it. Heck, if they give me the ability to do it, heck, I go down there just as an example. Okay, I'm down here, let's have a picnic. Okay, I'm good, let's go back. Who else's turn? I mean, these things are never even brought up.
Did you go down
Okay.
with the Minutemen?
No, I went down with another group when I did this. See, I went to the Arizona Border Patrol. There's a ranch that sits there right into the water, a river that goes up through Naco there. And they have an infrared 24/7 webcam that goes down. They have remote control airplanes with video. They did everything. I go, why are you doing this? They go to show that it can be done for almost nothing and that they won't. And I'm going, I get it. They'd have 24 hours, 7 days a week, 365 of all of these people, 24/7 infrared at night. And people on the web would be watching it. They'd make calls to where, hey, they're coming in. They're carrying packs. They're doing it. They didn't want to know. They didn't care. They'd stand down, stand down. They did it. So they were there, the American Border Patrol, they were there showing what a scam it was. So I published it. We put it on Freedom's Phoenix. I do a radio show on it and everything. I'm not supposed to do it every day. I mean, I promised Ed I'd get to him. You still got a question?
Well, it wasn't so much of a question. It was more of a...
Well, do it.
Well, it says in here specifically, it doesn't say that, no, this isn't a national ID. It says specifically that this is not implementing the real ID of 2005.
Oh, I want to get to that too.
That says, it says that specifically. So when they say it's not a national ID, that's BS. It's
No, what they
not-
said, doesn't implement
Right.
this specific one.
Right.
I'll get it to you, Frank. It doesn't do this specific one. And I'm going, well, they didn't have to do that. Janet Napolitano signed the bill forbidding real ID in Arizona. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Why would head of the Gestapo sign that?
Because she loves us.
Because they already had it. It's called the Western Hemisphere Travel Initiative. Enhanced driver's license, you guys hear about that? You right now, Arizona is Western Hemisphere Travel Initiative. You go El Centro, you're going to California, go to San Diego, down there by Yuma, you go through there, there's a big sign, Western Hemisphere Travel Initiative. You know, WHTI, don't forget to have your national ID, blah, 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 or you might not get back home tonight. I mean, it's already there. That's why they didn't need it, Frank.
In my opinion, you guys are too local and immediate. For me, this started back in the Carter administration. When Jimmy Carter, and I think it was Portillo, president of Mexico, met on an island in the Rio Grande River down in Texas somewhere. It was shortly after that they reduced the number of Border Patrol agents and changed the leader of the Border Patrol in this sector to a guy named Castillo.